Marcus walked slowly into the courtroom. His shoes made a soft sound on the polished floor. The room was large, filled with benches, and a high wooden desk stood at the front. The walls were painted a soft cream color, and tall windows let in sunlight. People were sitting quietly, some whispering in small voices. Marcus could hear his own heartbeat. It was loud in his ears. He stopped in front of the judge's desk. The judge looked serious but calm. She wore a black robe, and her glasses shone under the lights. Marcus tried to keep his hands still, but they shook slightly. He swallowed hard. He had never been in a courtroom like this before. The lawyer who was helping him spoke first. She had a kind face and a soft voice. "Your Honor," she said, "we ask for a fair decision. Marcus is young and willing to learn from his mistakes. Please consider the circumstances carefully." The judge nodded slowly. Her eyes looked down at the papers in front of her. Marcus could feel her gaze, and it made him nervous. He tried to keep his head up, to look brave, but inside he was scared. He thought about his parents, his friends, and everything he had done in his life. He wished he could turn back time and fix every mistake. After a moment of silence, the judge spoke. Her voice was clear and strong. "Marcus," she said, "I have listened carefully to everything. I have considered your age, your actions, and the advice of your lawyer. I have thought about what is best for you and for society." Marcus felt sweat on his forehead. His stomach was tight. He could not move. Then the judge said the word that changed everything. Life. Marcus did not immediately understand. Life. He repeated it in his mind. Life. Was this good or bad? The judge's face was calm, but Marcus felt frozen. He tried to speak, to ask a question, but the words would not come. He felt a cold wave of fear. His knees shook. He thought of his father. His father was the U.S. Attorney General. He had always been strong, smart, and calm. He had solved big problems for the country. Marcus wanted to call him immediately. He wanted to tell him what had happened. He wanted advice. He wanted comfort. Marcus's friends were sitting behind him. They looked worried. Some were whispering, some were trying to smile at him. Marcus felt a small pain in his chest. He had always thought friends would make everything better, but now he felt very alone. He tried to think. He tried to remember all the times he had been careful, all the times he had tried to do the right thing. But one mistake had brought him here. One mistake had changed everything. He wished he could explain, but the words felt trapped in his throat. The courtroom was quiet except for the soft scratch of a pen on paper. Marcus felt time slow down. Every sound was loud. The judge's breathing, the rustle of papers, the whisper of the lawyers, the small cough from someone in the back row. Everything felt important. Everything felt scary. Marcus's mind went back to his childhood. He remembered playing in the park with his little sister, reading stories with his mom, and laughing with his father on weekends. He remembered the lessons his father had taught him about honesty, responsibility, and courage. Marcus wished he could be that boy again, before mistakes and fears. Then Marcus remembered something his father had told him once. Life is not about never making mistakes, his father had said. Life is about learning, facing challenges, and never giving up. When you face trouble, don't hide. Be brave, be honest, and ask for help. Marcus took a deep breath. He knew his father was right. He had to face this moment. He had to be brave. He had to take the next step, no matter how scary it was. Finally, the judge spoke again. She asked Marcus to stand and answer a few questions. Her voice was calm, but every word felt heavy. Marcus answered as best as he could. He tried to speak clearly. He tried not to shake. He tried to show that he understood the seriousness of the situation. After the questions, the judge nodded slowly. She said she would review everything carefully and make a final decision soon. Marcus was allowed to leave the courtroom, but he felt like he was carrying a mountain on his shoulders. Every step he took out of the room felt heavy. As he walked down the hallway, he pulled out his phone. His fingers shook. He dialed his father's number. "Dad," he said when his father answered. I need your help. I don't know what to do." His father's voice was calm and strong. "Marcus," he said, "we will figure this out. Don't worry. Just tell me everything, step by step." Marcus felt a small wave of relief. He was scared, but he was not alone. He had his father, his family, and his friends. Life was hard, but maybe there was hope. Maybe he could still make things right. Marcus walked outside. The sun was shining, and the world seemed the same, but he knew he had changed. Life had given him a challenge. He had to be brave. He had to face the next steps with courage. And for the first time that day, Marcus believed he could. Marcus walked out of the courthouse slowly. His shoes tapped lightly on the steps. The air felt warm, but Marcus barely noticed. His mind was full of thoughts, and his hands were shaking slightly. He found a quiet corner near a bench and took out his phone. His fingers hovered over the screen. He knew exactly who he wanted to call first. He dialed his father's number. Marcus had always looked up to his father. He was the U.S. Attorney General. People respected him. He solved difficult problems for the country. Marcus's father was calm, intelligent, and always had the right advice. Even though he was busy with important work, Marcus knew his father would listen. The phone rang. Marcus counted the rings silently. His heart beat fast. Finally, his father answered. "Marcus," his father said, his voice steady and warm. "Is everything okay?" Marcus swallowed hard. "Dad, I am at the courthouse." "The judge," she said life. "I don't know what to do. I am scared, Dad." His voice shook. "Calm down, Marcus," his father said softly. "Tell me exactly what happened. Start from the beginning." Marcus took a deep breath. He explained everything. He told his father about the courtroom, the judge, the word life, and how he felt frozen and scared. He explained how his friends had tried to support him and how he had remembered his father's lessons about courage. His father listened quietly. Marcus could hear him taking notes on the other end. He could hear the soft sound of papers moving, phones ringing, and voices in his father's office. Marcus knew his father was thinking carefully. "Marcus," his father said finally, "we will handle this. First, take a deep breath. You are not alone. I am here. We will talk to a lawyer and see what steps we can take. There is always a way forward if we act carefully and honestly." Marcus felt a small wave of relief. His father always had a way of making problems seem smaller. "You really think so, Dad?" he asked. "I know so," his father said. "Life can be challenging, and sometimes things feel impossible. But you are not without help. We will look at all the options and make sure your voice is heard." Marcus listened carefully. He realized that his father's experience could make a difference. He had always been proud of his father, but now he felt a new kind of pride. He realized that having someone who believed in him, who could guide him, was more powerful than he had understood before. "Dad," Marcus said, "what should I do next? Should I talk to a lawyer?" "Yes," his father replied. "We will hire a good lawyer who can explain everything to you. Someone who understands the law and can represent you well. Do not worry about the details yet. Right now, just focus on staying calm and thinking clearly." Marcus nodded, even though his father could not see him. He knew he had to trust this process. He had to be patient. He had to be brave. After a few minutes, his father said, "I will call the lawyer immediately and set up a meeting. You will meet them soon. Remember, Marcus, life is about choices. Sometimes we make mistakes, but we can always try to make things right. I am proud of you for facing this moment honestly." Marcus felt a warmth in his chest. He realized he was not alone. He had his father, his family, and his friends. Even when things seemed scary, he had support. He remembered the advice his father had given him: courage, honesty, and patience could guide him through difficult times. After hanging up, Marcus sat on the bench for a while. He watched people walking by, some talking, some laughing. The world seemed normal, but he knew his world had changed. He had faced a moment that felt impossible, but he had reached out. He had taken the first step toward hope. His best friend Liam arrived soon after. "Marcus," Liam said quietly, "are you okay?" Marcus smiled weakly. "I talked to my dad," he said. "He says we can fix this. We will get a lawyer and look at all the options. I feel better now." Liam nodded. "Good," he said. "I am here too. We will figure this out together." They walked slowly to the nearby park. The trees were tall and green, and birds were singing. Marcus felt the sun on his face. It reminded him that even in hard times, life continued. There were still moments of beauty and hope. Marcus realized that fear and courage could exist together. He could feel scared, but still take action. He could feel nervous, but still reach out for help. He could feel the weight of the world, but still believe in the possibility of change. As he walked with Liam, Marcus promised himself that he would face whatever came next with honesty and courage. He knew it would not be easy, but he also knew he was not alone. Life had given him a challenge, and he was ready to meet it. The sun began to set, painting the sky with shades of orange and pink. Marcus looked up and felt a quiet determination. He would take each step carefully. He would listen, learn, and do his best. And most importantly, he would not give up hope. Life was difficult, but Marcus understood something important now. He had the power to face it. He had the power to make choices. And he had the people who cared about him to guide him through the hardest moments. For the first time since the courtroom, Marcus felt a sense of calm. He was ready for the next step. A few days after the courtroom, Marcus waited nervously in his living room. The phone call with his father had given him hope, but he still felt tense. Today, he was going to meet the lawyer his father had arranged. The lawyer would help him understand what could happen next. Marcus paced back and forth, then sat down, trying to calm his thoughts. The doorbell rang. Marcus jumped slightly and ran to open the door. A woman stood there with a friendly smile and a briefcase. "Hello, Marcus," she said. "I am Miss Harper. Your father asked me to meet with you and help you with your case." Marcus nodded. "Hello, Miss Harper. Thank you for coming," he said politely. Miss Harper stepped inside and sat on the sofa. Marcus noticed she carried herself with confidence but also kindness. She seemed calm, and that made Marcus feel a little less nervous. She opened her briefcase and took out some papers. "Marcus," she said gently, "I know things feel very hard right now. You are facing a big challenge, but my job is to help you understand everything and guide you through it. First, I want to hear your story in your own words. Tell me what happened in the courtroom and how you felt." Marcus took a deep breath. He told her everything. He explained the courtroom, the judge, the word life, and the fear he felt. He told her about the phone call with his father and how it had made him feel stronger. Miss Harper listened carefully, nodding and taking notes. "Thank you for sharing this, Marcus," she said after a few minutes. "It is very important that I understand your side completely. I know you are feeling scared, but you are showing courage. That courage will help us move forward. Marcus felt a small smile. He realized that someone else believed in him too. He was not alone in this fight. Miss Harper explained the process in simple words. The judge made a decision based on the information available at the time. But sometimes, new information, explanations, or actions can change the outcome. We will prepare everything carefully and make sure your voice is heard. Your father's support and your honesty are very important. Marcus listened closely. He began to feel more confident. He understood that this was not the end. There were steps he could take, and people who could help. Miss Harper then asked Marcus about his goals. Marcus, what do you want most right now? What do you hope will happen? Marcus thought for a moment. I want a chance to explain myself fully. I want to show that I can make better choices. I want to prove that I can learn from my mistakes. That is very good, Marcus, Miss Harper said. Your honesty and willingness to learn will be important in every meeting, every hearing, and every step of this process. We will focus on that. We will show that you are young, responsible, and ready to improve. They spent the next hour going over what could happen next. Miss Harper explained the steps in simple terms, so Marcus could understand everything clearly. She talked about meetings, papers, hearings, and important deadlines. Marcus listened carefully. Every word made him feel more prepared. When the meeting ended, Marcus felt lighter. He had a plan, a guide, and the support of people who cared about him. He realized that fear did not have to stop him. He could take one step at a time, and each step would bring him closer to a better future. As Miss Harper packed her briefcase, she smiled. Marcus, remember this. Life is full of challenges, but you are strong. You are honest, and you are willing to learn. Those qualities will help you more than you realize. Trust yourself, and trust the process. Marcus nodded. Thank you, Miss Harper. I will try my best. After she left, Marcus called his father to tell him about the meeting. His father listened carefully and praised him for being brave and honest. Marcus, he said, you are doing the right things. Stay focused, stay patient, and remember that every choice you make matters. I am proud of you. Marcus hung up the phone and looked out the window. The sky was clear, and the sun was shining. He felt a sense of hope and determination. He realized that life could be difficult, but he had the power to face it. He had the support of his father, his friend Liam, and now Miss Harper. He thought about the courtroom and the word that had scared him so much. Life. It was a word that felt heavy and frightening, but now Marcus saw it differently. Life was not just about fear or mistakes. Life was about learning, growing, and having the courage to move forward. Marcus decided to write down his thoughts in a notebook. He wrote about the courtroom, the fear, the phone call with his father, and the meeting with Miss Harper. Writing made him feel stronger. He could see his path clearly, step by step. That evening, Liam came over. How was the meeting? He asked. Marcus smiled. It was good. Miss Harper explained everything. I have a plan now. I know what to do. Liam nodded. I am glad. Remember, I am here too. We will get through this together. Marcus felt grateful. He realized that even in difficult times, support and courage could make a difference. Life was not easy, but he understood that challenges could be faced if he stayed honest, patient, and brave. He looked out the window at the darkening sky and made a promise to himself. No matter what happened next, he would keep trying. He would stay honest, learn from his mistakes, and face life with courage. Marcus felt ready for the next step. Marcus woke up early the next morning. The sunlight came through his window, bright and warm, but he barely noticed it. His mind was already full of thoughts about the next steps. Today, he was going to meet with Miss Harper again to prepare for the upcoming hearing. This was an important moment, and Marcus wanted to be ready. He quickly got dressed and went downstairs. His father was already at the kitchen table, reading papers. "Good morning, Marcus," his father said, looking up with a small smile. "Are you ready for today?" Marcus nodded. "Yes, Dad. I want to do everything I can to be prepared." His father stood and placed a hand on Marcus's shoulder. "Remember, Marcus, preparation is important, but so is staying calm. Trust your lawyer, listen carefully, and speak honestly. That is all anyone can ask of you." Marcus felt a little more confident. His father's advice always helped him see things more clearly. He took a deep breath and followed his father's words. Soon after, Miss Harper arrived. She carried her briefcase and greeted Marcus warmly. "Good morning, Marcus," she said. "Today we will go over everything for the hearing. We will practice what to say, how to answer questions, and how to stay calm even if things feel difficult." Marcus sat down and listened carefully. Miss Harper opened her briefcase and spread out some papers. She explained the steps of the hearing in simple words. She told Marcus about the judge, the questions he might be asked, and how to explain his side clearly. "Marcus," she said, "you need to remember one thing. Honesty is your strongest tool. Speak the truth, and do not try to hide anything. People respect honesty, even when situations are difficult." Marcus nodded. He remembered what his father had said about courage and honesty. He realized that staying truthful was the only way to move forward. They began practicing. Miss Harper asked questions, and Marcus answered as if he were in the courtroom. "How did you feel when the judge said life?" she asked. Marcus took a deep breath. "I was scared," he said. "I did not understand what it meant at first, and my heart was beating very fast. But I tried to stay calm and listen to my lawyer." "That is good," Miss Harper said. "You are honest, and you are speaking clearly. That will help the judge understand your feelings and your perspective." They practiced for over an hour. Marcus learned how to answer questions calmly, how to explain his actions without blaming anyone, and how to show that he was willing to learn from his mistakes. Miss Harper also reminded him to take deep breaths, to speak slowly, and to make eye contact. After practicing, Miss Harper smiled. "Marcus, you did very well today. You are ready. The most important thing is to stay honest and focused. Everything else will follow naturally." Marcus felt a sense of relief. He realized that preparation gave him confidence. He could face the hearing with courage because he had practiced, and he knew what to expect. Later that afternoon, Marcus and his father went for a short walk in the park. The air was cool, and the trees swayed gently in the wind. Marcus felt calmer with each step. "Dad," he said, "I feel ready now. I still feel nervous, but I know I can do this." His father smiled. "That is natural, Marcus. Nervousness is normal before important moments. The key is to use that energy to stay focused. Remember, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting even when you are afraid." Marcus thought about the courtroom, the word that had scared him, and the meetings with Miss Harper. He realized that courage was something he had been practicing every day. He had reached out for help, listened to advice, and prepared himself. He felt a small spark of pride. The next day, Marcus returned to the courthouse for a final review with Miss Harper. They went over all the papers, checked the evidence, and made sure Marcus understood every detail. Miss Harper encouraged him to speak honestly, to answer clearly, and to show that he was ready to take responsibility for his actions. "Marcus," she said, "you have worked very hard. You are prepared. No matter what happens in the courtroom, remember that your honesty and courage are what matter most. You are showing growth, and that is important. Marcus nodded. He felt ready to face the hearing. The fear was still there, but it was smaller now. He understood that challenges could be faced if he stayed calm, honest, and focused. That evening, Marcus went to bed early. He thought about the days ahead. He knew the hearing could change his life, but he also knew he was not alone. He had his father, his friend Liam, and Miss Harper. He had courage and honesty. As he closed his eyes, Marcus made a quiet promise to himself. No matter what happened, he would face the next day with courage. He would speak honestly. He would learn from every step. Life had given him a challenge, and he was ready to meet it. Tomorrow would be a new day. Tomorrow, Marcus would step into the courtroom again. He felt ready to face the challenge with courage and honesty. The next morning, Marcus woke up early. The sunlight filled his room, but he barely noticed it. Today was the day of the hearing. He felt nervous, but also a little excited. He had practiced for days, and he felt ready to face the courtroom again. He quickly got dressed and ate breakfast with his father. His father smiled at him and said, "Marcus, remember to stay calm. Speak honestly and clearly. Everything else will follow." Marcus nodded. He felt the words in his chest. He took a deep breath and remembered the lessons from Miss Harper. Honesty, courage, and preparation. These were the keys to facing the challenge ahead. When they arrived at the courthouse, the building seemed bigger than before. The steps were wide, and the doors were tall. People walked in and out, some talking quietly, some hurrying to their own appointments. Marcus felt a small shiver of fear, but he held his father's hand briefly and felt steadier. Inside, they waited for a few minutes. The courtroom was quiet, but Marcus noticed the faint sound of papers, whispers, and footsteps. Miss Harper sat beside him and gave him an encouraging nod. "You are ready, Marcus," she whispered. "Just be yourself." Soon, the judge entered. Marcus stood respectfully. The judge's expression was serious but calm. She nodded to Miss Harper and Marcus, and the hearing began. Miss Harper started by explaining Marcus's side clearly. She spoke about his honesty, his willingness to learn from mistakes, and the support of his family. Marcus listened quietly, feeling a small sense of pride. His lawyer's words were calm, strong, and fair. Then, it was Marcus's turn. His heart beat fast, but he remembered to take a deep breath. He spoke slowly, clearly, and honestly. He explained how he had felt in the courtroom before, what he had learned from the experience, and how he wanted to make better choices in the future. The judge listened carefully. Marcus noticed her expression soften slightly. He felt a flicker of hope. "Marcus," the judge said finally, "it is clear that you understand the seriousness of your situation. You have shown honesty, courage, and a willingness to learn. These qualities are important for your future." Marcus felt his heart lift. The words gave him confidence. He realized that his preparation, honesty, and courage were making a difference. Miss Harper added a few final points about Marcus's plan for learning and growth. She spoke about his dedication to school, his participation in community activities, and his desire to make positive choices. Marcus felt proud. He could see that all his efforts were being recognized. The judge nodded slowly. She paused for a moment, thinking carefully. Marcus held his breath. Every second felt long, but he stayed calm and focused. Finally, the judge spoke again. "Marcus, considering your honesty, your willingness to learn, and the support from your family and community, I am granting you an opportunity to continue your growth outside of strict restrictions. You will follow a guided program, attend regular meetings, and continue your education. This decision is made with your future in mind." Relief and happiness flooded through Marcus. He had expected fear and punishment, but now he felt hope. He had a chance to show that he could learn from his mistakes and grow stronger. After the hearing, Marcus and Miss Harper spoke quietly. She praised him for his courage and honesty. "You did very well, Marcus. You stayed calm, honest, and respectful. That made all the difference today." Marcus smiled. He realized how much he had learned over the past days. He had learned that fear could be faced, challenges could be managed, and honesty could open doors. Outside the courtroom, his father was waiting. When Marcus saw him, he ran forward and hugged him tightly. "I am so proud of you," his father said. "You faced this challenge with courage and honesty. You made the right choices, and now you have an opportunity to show your best self." Marcus felt a warmth in his heart. He had faced one of the hardest moments in his life and had come through with courage. He knew the road ahead would still have challenges, but he also knew that he had learned important lessons about life, responsibility, and honesty. Later that day, Marcus met Liam at the park. "How did it go?" Liam asked. Marcus smiled widely. "It went well. I have a chance to learn and grow. Everything is going to be okay." Liam grinned. "I knew you could do it. You stayed honest, and it worked." Marcus looked at the sky. The sun was shining brightly, and the world seemed full of possibilities. He realized that life could be difficult, but courage, honesty, and support from others could make a real difference. That evening, Marcus wrote in his notebook. He wrote about the courtroom, the hearing, and how he felt. He wrote about the lessons he had learned and the promise he had made to himself. He promised to stay honest, to keep learning, and to face challenges with courage. As he closed the notebook, Marcus felt a sense of calm and determination. Life had tested him, but he had shown strength. He had faced fear and uncertainty, and he had come out stronger. Marcus understood something important. Life was not always easy, but challenges could be met with honesty, preparation, and courage. He was ready to continue his journey, one step at a time, with hope and determination guiding him. Tomorrow would be a new day, full of opportunities to grow and make positive choices. Marcus was ready. The morning sun filled Marcus's room with a warm glow. Today was the first day of his guided program. He felt nervous but also excited. After the hearing, he had a second chance. He wanted to make the most of it. He quickly got dressed and had breakfast with his father. "Remember, Marcus," his father said gently, "this is a new beginning. Stay honest, follow the rules, and focus on learning. Every step matters." Marcus nodded. He felt a small spark of determination. He understood that this was more than a program. It was a chance to grow, to learn, and to show what he could become. When he arrived at the program center, Marcus noticed other teens waiting quietly. Some looked nervous, some curious. A friendly woman greeted him. "Welcome, Marcus," she said warmly. "I am Mrs. Stevens, and I will help guide you through this program. We are here to learn, grow, and make positive choices together." Marcus smiled. He realized that everyone here had their own challenges. He was not alone. He took a deep breath and followed Mrs. Stevens into the main room. The first activity was a group discussion. Each teen was asked to talk about their goals and what they hoped to learn. Marcus listened carefully to the others. Some wanted to improve their grades, some wanted to make better choices, and some wanted to build stronger friendships. When it was Marcus's turn, he spoke honestly. "I want to learn from my mistakes," he said. "I want to be responsible, honest, and make good choices. I want to show that I can grow and do better." Mrs. Stevens nodded with a smile. "That is an excellent goal, Marcus. Remember, growth takes time and effort, but every day you try, you move closer to your goal." After the discussion, Marcus attended a learning session about decision-making and responsibility. The instructor explained how small choices could lead to big changes in life. Marcus listened carefully. He thought about his own experiences in the courtroom and how one choice had changed his path. He realized that mistakes were not the end. They were lessons. Each decision he made from now on could help him grow stronger and wiser. Marcus felt a sense of purpose he had not felt before. During a short break, Marcus met a boy named Daniel. Daniel was friendly and kind. They talked about school, sports, and their favorite books. Marcus felt a little more relaxed. He realized that the program was not only about rules and lessons but also about making new friends and learning from others. The afternoon session focused on personal responsibility. Marcus learned how to set goals, track progress, and ask for help when needed. He took careful notes in his notebook. Every idea felt useful. Every lesson seemed important. At the end of the day, Mrs. Stevens gathered the teens together. "You have all done very well today," she said. "Remember, this program is about learning, growth, and making positive choices. Stay honest, stay focused, and support each other." Marcus walked outside with a sense of pride. He felt different from the morning. He had learned a lot, met new friends, and understood more about responsibility and courage. He realized that every day could be a chance to improve, to learn, and to grow. On the way home, Marcus called Liam. "Hey, Liam," he said. "Today was my first day in the program. It was really good. I learned a lot, and I met new friends." "That sounds great," Liam replied. "I knew you could do it. Keep going, Marcus. Every day is a step forward." Marcus smiled. He felt grateful for Liam's support. He knew that encouragement from friends and family could make challenges easier to face. When he got home, Marcus wrote in his notebook. He wrote about his first day, what he had learned, and the promise he had made to himself. He wrote about courage, honesty, and determination. He realized that each word he wrote was a reminder of the person he wanted to become. That evening, Marcus's father checked on him. "How was your day?" he asked. "It was good, Dad," Marcus said. "I learned about responsibility, making good choices, and how to grow from mistakes. I met new friends too." His father smiled proudly. "I am very proud of you, Marcus. Remember, life is full of lessons. Some are easy, some are hard. But every lesson is an opportunity to become stronger and wiser. Keep learning, keep growing, and stay honest." Marcus nodded. He felt a deep sense of determination. He understood that life would continue to give him challenges, but he now had tools, support, and courage to face them. He also understood that growth was a journey. Each day was a chance to learn, make better choices, and move closer to his goals. Before going to bed, Marcus looked out the window at the stars. The sky was calm, and the world felt quiet and full of possibilities. He realized that even after fear and challenges, life could offer new beginnings, hope, and opportunities to improve. Marcus made a silent promise to himself. He would continue to work hard in the program, stay honest, and face every challenge with courage. He would make good choices, learn from mistakes, and become the best version of himself. Life had given him a second chance. Marcus was ready to take it. The morning sun shone brightly as Marcus prepared for another day in the guided program. Today was special. It was a review day, the day when the instructors and teens looked back at what they had learned and how much progress had been made. Marcus felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. He had worked hard, and he wanted to show the results of his efforts. When he arrived at the program center, Mrs. Stevens greeted him warmly. "Good morning, Marcus," she said. "Today, we celebrate growth and learning. This is your opportunity to reflect on how far you have come and to plan for the future." Marcus felt a small smile. He had grown more confident since his first day. He had learned about responsibility, honesty, courage, and the power of making good choices. He had met friends who supported him and teachers who guided him. The first activity was a reflection exercise. Each teen was asked to talk about what they had learned and how they had changed. Marcus listened to others share their stories. Some spoke about improving their behavior, some about learning to trust themselves, and some about setting new goals. When it was Marcus's turn, he took a deep breath and spoke clearly. "I have learned that mistakes do not define me," he said. "I have learned that honesty and courage can help me face challenges. I have learned that support from friends, family, and teachers makes a big difference. I will continue to work hard, make good choices, and learn from every experience." Mrs. Stevens smiled proudly. "Marcus, that is an excellent reflection. You have shown growth, responsibility, and determination. These qualities will help you in every part of your life." After the reflection, the teens participated in a group activity. They worked together to solve problems and complete tasks. Marcus noticed that he felt more confident than before. He communicated clearly, helped others, and listened carefully. The skills he had learned in the program were guiding his actions. During lunch, Marcus spoke with Daniel, his new friend. "I am glad we met," Marcus said. "This program has taught me a lot, and having friends makes it even better." Daniel smiled. "I feel the same way. We can help each other stay on the right path. We can encourage each other to make good choices." Marcus realized that support was an important part of growth. He had learned that no one had to face challenges alone. Friends, family, and mentors could guide him through difficult moments. In the afternoon, Mrs. Stevens called the teens together for a final discussion. "You have all done very well," she said. "Remember, the lessons you have learned here are tools you can use for the rest of your life. Honesty, courage, responsibility, and support from others will guide you through challenges. Keep practicing these lessons every day." Marcus felt a deep sense of pride. He thought about the courtroom, the judge's words, and the fear he had felt before. He remembered the phone call to his father, the guidance from Miss Harper, and the lessons in the program. Every step had prepared him for this moment. After the program ended, Marcus walked outside into the warm sunlight. He took a deep breath and looked at the world around him. The trees swayed gently in the breeze, and birds sang in the distance. He felt a sense of calm and hope. When he arrived home, his father was waiting. Marcus ran to him and hugged him tightly. "Dad, today was amazing," Marcus said. "I have learned so much, and I feel ready to face the future." His father smiled and patted his shoulder. "I am very proud of you, Marcus. You have shown courage, honesty, and responsibility. You have taken every lesson to heart, and you have grown stronger. Remember, life will continue to test you, but you now have the tools to succeed." Marcus nodded. He realized that the journey was not over, but he was ready. He understood that life would continue to give challenges, but with courage, honesty, and determination, he could face anything. Later that evening, Marcus sat at his desk and opened his notebook. He wrote about his experiences in the program, the lessons he had learned, and the promise he had made to himself. He wrote about growth, responsibility, and hope. Every word reminded him of the person he wanted to become. After writing, Marcus looked out the window at the night sky. The stars were bright, and the world seemed full of possibilities. He thought about the past months: the fear, the courtroom, the call to his father, the guidance from Miss Harper, and the lessons in the program. Every step had brought him closer to understanding himself and life. Marcus made a quiet promise to himself. He would continue to be honest, make good choices, and face every challenge with courage. He would continue to learn, grow, and help others when he could. He understood that life was a journey, and every day was an opportunity to improve. That night, Marcus felt a deep sense of peace. He had faced fear, uncertainty, and challenges. He had learned important lessons about honesty, courage, responsibility, and support. He had grown stronger, wiser, and more confident. Life had given him a second chance, and Marcus was ready to take it. He knew that the future held challenges, but he also knew that he could meet them with strength, honesty, and determination. Marcus closed his eyes, feeling proud and hopeful. Tomorrow would bring new lessons, new challenges, and new opportunities. He was ready to face them all. Life was not always easy, but Marcus had learned that courage, honesty, and determination could guide him through anything. He was ready for the future, and he knew that he could succeed. Marcus had grown, and he knew that this was only the beginning.